drive from the nearest large town. It's here in the village of Bakel that 2 London graduates are building a school for the 200 children that live here. It's 5 months since they arrived, and I'm keen to see how they're getting on.
How's it going? Hi, yeah, good. All right. Welcome to the site. Come and have a look round.
The school's being built amongst the rocks and consists of 4 different buildings where around 60 children will be educated.
Over here we've got our first 2 classrooms. One, as you can see there, one right next to us. We've got another classroom over here which is still without a roof, and then going in between it all we've just got a few little paths which we're developing.
Ed's degree was in biology, but his lack of building experience hasn't deterred him.
If you need a skill to do something and you want to do it bad enough, then you can learn how to do it, really. But a lot of it's down to Rob and his trade in furniture and carpentry there.
Rob has become Ed's right-hand man. After a drink in their local, Rob was sold and has been working on the project ever since.
The wall's fallen down anyway, so it's not like we're trying to protect it.
Work has been slow over the past few months due to the heat, but now the boys have an even bigger problem.
There's times when I'm like, what am I doing here? Nothing's happening, nothing's going on. I've asked somebody to do this, that hasn't happened, and it's just really, really demoralising. You think, I just can't take this, I've had enough. I just want to change my ticket and fly straight back home.
The rainy season has just begun, but with the really heavy monsoon rains due to start in the next few days, it's vital the roofs go on to protect the walls.
The project should have finished about a month ago, so it was delayed as it was. But when the rain comes, it means that people are in their fields, they're sowing the seeds, and because our labour comes from in the local village, that means there is no labour to build a school. Our wood's getting wet and it's expanding, which makes it harder to fit. Our walls are only made out of mud, which is absolutely fine once you've got a roof on and it can stay dry. But when it's wet, then they fall down.
Ed and Rob desperately need help, so they call an emergency meeting.
It takes 30 people each time to put the roof together. We need some people to say that they can put the bamboo on for us. Some people who say they can do some tiling, so there'll be more labour work available, and if they're able to help us do this.
How's morale at the moment then?
Morale's much higher, thankfully, after having the meeting with the village.
How do you encourage the rest of the guys in the village to help you with this?
Well, the motivation we'd love them to have is to do everything for free because they're sending their children to school, which we're building. But obviously money's a good incentive for most people. These guys, their crops fail, they don't have enough food, and money's necessary for them, and it's something we can provide for them.
Home for the past few months has been very basic. Rob and Ed have been sharing the floor of a mud hut with Buriaram and his family.
You can get a bit fill in here at night. The goats are on that side, we're on this side, and there's a little chicken box up there. And we've got a few new chickens as well.
Food is limited in the village.
We've got potato and rice today, and some kind of chilli, no doubt.
So you're both looking pretty trim, perhaps a bit too much, has to be said. Have you lost much weight here?
I lost 7 kilos.
Which is about a stone.
Yeah, it's a bit much really.
Is there anything you particularly miss about London? Anything you can't wait to get back to eating when you're there?
Oh, a bit of beef, you can't have that here. But I was vegetarian before I came away.
What about you, Rob?
It would be lovely right now would be to have blackberry and apple crumble.
Oh yeah, no, I'll change mine.
Yeah, there you go.
When the school is finally built, Buriaram is very keen that his 8-year-old daughter Shitri will benefit. At the moment, like most kids in the village, her parents needed to work in the fields and help look after her little sister.
Buriaram, you have 2 daughters. So how usual is it for girls to go to school in Rajasthan?
Buriaram says that most girls in the village are illiterate, and he hopes education will give his 2 daughters a better life. The next day, 30 villagers turn up to help build the roof of the second classroom.
No.
A lack of building experience mixed with the heat and the language barrier make it a difficult task.
That's not, no, stop. Ruk, ruk. This one here is wrong. I'm not hot on my Hindi, and then when I start to get a bit stressed, I just start shouting the same thing, and if it's wrong, then I'm shouting the same wrong thing, and I think I'm saying the right thing. And so it's all a bit stupid, really. Up, ow. Huh, up, ow. Ow, ow. Rob, it's upside down, it's upside down. It's because it's meant to be pointing outwards. Hello! Yeah. Like there's a crack going right way down there.
After 3 hours in stifling heat and humidity, the structure of the second roof is finally in place.
So building the school is well underway. The pupils are desperate to get in there and start learning. Arguably the biggest challenge now, though, for Rob and Ed is finding the teachers to work in it.
There's no one getting educated here, and so there's no teachers coming out of that education. Teachers do get sent to the area from further away, but it's fairly simple living here, and they've grown up in the cities and the towns, and they don't want to live like a villager, so often they run off. In fact, the Indian government will send poorly behaving teachers and poorly performing teachers here as punishment. So how on earth are you going to get a good education for the children out of that?
While the word is spread across the village that the school is looking for teachers, the building work continues.
Here you go.
Cheers.
So this one's nearly finished.
Yeah, these are the final few tiles going on our first room, which
Good.
is just absolutely brilliant to see. Each one of those tiles essentially represents someone in the UK who decided our school was a good enough idea to send us 2p.
Two days later, and a young student from a neighbouring village comes forward for the teacher's job.
What's your name?
Bunesh,
Bunesh.
परीक्षा भेजा मैंने बाद भी
चलते रहेंगे.
yeah he wants to work here for a long time.
We've just interviewed Bhuvanesh, and he's actually really fantastic, which is good because he's our only choice from a village. So we might have our first teacher for the school, which is far too easy, so something's bound to go wrong later. But yeah, let's have a handshake. Now, there's been some awful moments, but when things are going well, it just goes so well, and just so happy for it. And yeah, we've got teacher, the roofs are going on at the moment, easily. We've got tiles going on, sun's shining. Yeah, everything's great, it's fantastic.
It goes to show what an extraordinary difference just a few of us can make to other people's lives if we really put our minds to it. Now, that's nearly all for this evening, but first, here's a taster of next week's show. The homeowners being asked to cough up for council cock-ups.
When the bill came, £44,000, I couldn't believe it.
Why this man is reinventing the wheelchair.
I saw a kid in an airport waiting lounge. He looked really cool, but his wheelchair didn't. I more or less said about redesigning the wheelchair on the back of the boarding pass.
There are some things that the Bible is specific about. There are some things that are shades of grey, which come down to people's personal faith.
And the evangelical preacher knocking 7 bells out of his cage rival. That's all for this week's Inside Out London. Don't forget, if you want to find out more about any of the stories you've seen tonight or watch again, log on to bbc.co.uk/Inside Out and click on London. Thanks for watching. See you next week.